Kung Fu Panda became one of DreamWorks' biggest franchises. The Legend of the Dragon Warrior began in 2008 when the first film hit the big screen, and from there, the series expanded. And I always feel weird when movies go straight to TV shows. It's almost like, because the level of production goes down from a movie to a TV show, I always feel weird and it almost feels kind of off. Am I the only one that feels like this? It's easy to see why the movies are so loved now. The lovable panda Po having to go on a journey of self-discovery and prophecy makes him the perfect action protagonist. Besides Tom Cruise, of course. I mean, what other actor do you know that literally risks his life just to get a perfect stunt? The man's crazy. Toss in the insanely marketable Furious 5, not to be confused with Dom's crew from Fast and Furious, of course. And you have a recipe for success. Kung Fu Panda 4 is coming, and it will mark the first feature film of the franchise to be distributed by Universal since their acquisition of DreamWorks in 2016. The new film was announced at CinemaCon by Jack Black himself. Yes, and before the comments come in, I do get told all the time that I look like him.
Oh, he really does.
Besides maybe today because I'm super red and burned from our Disney World trip, man, it was freaking hot. But I even got stopped in public one time when this little lady came up to me and asked if I was Black Jack. Let's just say her first language wasn't English, but I thought it was so funny, and my parents even started saying like, you should literally go out and just start saying like, yes, I am Jack Black. Skadoosh. Although now I'm wondering if she just meant that I was a knockoff Jack Black. Regardless, I think we can all agree we can't wait to see what's next for Po and his comrades. Otherwise, you wouldn't have clicked on today's video. So grab your popcorn, movie lovers, because we're about to dive into everything you need to know for Kung Fu Panda 4. Po has come a long way since 2008's Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3 cemented Po as the Dragon Warrior, letting him develop his abilities as a teacher and as a protector of the Valley of Peace. The franchise was enriched by TV spin-offs that showcased Po's adventures with the Furious 5, sometimes moving the spotlight entirely on them. Which is one thing that TV shows do well, is build on these other character arcs. These characters that were side characters that you want to know more about. Recently, it's been discussed that Encanto can be one of those where they can develop the other family members, which would be cool, but there's just something about a movie that speaks to me more. While the Kung Fu Panda TV shows and short films were especially valuable for the world building they provided, the feature films tend to focus on the betterment of Po's abilities and his own story, making a new Kung Fu Panda movie particularly interesting when thinking about Po's past. Kung Fu Panda 4 was slated to hit theaters on March 8th, 2024, but this recently has been pushed back to the picket lines to March 29th, 2024. The film will have some tough competition as it shares a release month with A Quiet Place Day 1 and Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. We'll also have the release of Disney's inaccurate Snow White remake. And that's all I'm gonna say about that topic because, whoo, that's a deep one. And I'm talking about the water that it's in, you know, deep water. But with DreamWorks crushing it here lately with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, we could be having another great sequel movie under the radar in Kung Fu Panda 4. DreamWorks Animation announced they have always had a total of 6 installments planned for Kung Fu Panda. Many fans believe that despite Kung Fu Panda 3's unanswered questions, the threequel would end the franchise. But the storyline has apparently always been a part of a 6-movie plan, according to DreamWorks Animation chief Jeffrey Katzenberg, which you guys might remember used to be a part of Disney years ago. Quoted as saying, Kung Fu Panda actually has 6 chapters to it, and we've mapped that out over the years. But my only question as I sip my coffee is, why has it taken so long then? And why put the energy into the TV spin-offs when you weren't done with Po yet? Feels a little weird to me. So which cast members could we see returning? We should expect to hear a few familiar voices. Po's sensei, Master Shifu, is played by the legendary Dustin Hoffman. The Furious 5 are played by Angelina Jolie as Tigress, Seth Rogen as Mantis, Jackie Chan as Monkey, Lucy Liu as Viper, and David Cross as Crane. So we could potentially see them all returning in this final conclusion film. Awkwafina will continue her animation hot streak as well, as she'll join the Kung Fu Panda cast. As of right now, who she's playing in Kung Fu Panda 4 hasn't been announced, but her signature raspy voice worked incredibly well for Raya and the Last Dragon and The Little Mermaid, and it will undoubtedly fit perfectly in the animated Forquel. Forquel? Is that a word? Forquel? It sounds like it's not. But what else would you call a 4th sequel? I don't know. She'll undoubtedly have a main role, and following the story details revealed by Jack Black, Awkwafina will likely be playing one of 2 characters. Jack Black mentioned 2 new characters at CinemaCon, one of which is a fox named Zen, which is one of Po's trainees, and the other is the villain Chameleon. So Awkwafina could be playing one of those. It would make the most sense for her to play Po's trainee with the potential to become the next Dragon Warrior. But my vote is for the Chameleon. Like, I need a villainous Awkwafina role. No, take that back. I don't just need it. The world needs it. Mike Mitchell will be directing Kung Fu Panda 4, who already has an extensive animated movie filmography as he directed the Lego Movie 2, Trolls, and Shrek Forever After. And with that, it kind of is like hit or miss, I feel like. So I'm kind of like up in the air of how I feel about this director. So what is Kung Fu Panda 4 about? The dire question that we all need answered, because if this is going to be the final conclusion, potentially, if we don't get the other two films, what could happen in this one? Well, Kung Fu Panda will have Po leaving the Valley of Peace to go to the big city, where he comes face to face with his most challenging threat yet. A new villain, the Chameleon, is looking to fight the Dragon Warrior and possesses incredible ability. The Chameleon brings back all the villains Po has defeated thus far, including the antagonist of the first two Kung Fu Panda movies, Tai Lung and Lord Shen. While dealing with this threat is challenging, Po is also burdened with finding the next Dragon Warrior. The lovable panda knows that he can't be the one to keep the peace forever and must find someone capable of taking his place. It'll be fascinating to see Po's approach to finding a successor. After all, he was a very unconventional choice for the position in the first place. This movie can be the final conclusion in Po's adventure as the Dragon Warrior. It feels like Kung Fu Panda 4 is setting up to be an emotional conclusion after years of entertaining kids and adults on both the big and small screens. But will they do it? Will they make the fourth film the final film when they had the plan of a 6-part series? I don't know, man. With movies being up and down in the air in the box office here recently, this could be the last Kung Fu Panda we get, or at least for a lot more years before some other director decides to reboot it. To me, that would be like a mistake if this is the final film, because why would you buy a property and then just not make it? It kind of gets me on the soapbox of like people being upset when they make sequels to movies, like when companies and studios decide like, hey, let's go ahead and make a sequel to this very successful franchise, because when fans complain about it, I'm like, bro, it makes the most sense as a business model, right? You have a very popular franchise, or you just bought from a very popular franchise, in this case Kung Fu Panda, when Universal took over DreamWorks. Why wouldn't you make more of that successful franchise?
That makes sense.
Or at least dip your toes in it with another sequel, and then if it doesn't do well, be like, okay, that's it. We're just gonna market it, the toys, or market it at the parks, whatever. It makes the most sense. Which brings me into my next question: why did they decide to make a fourth film? Well, Kung Fu Panda struck a perfect balance between humor and heart. The movies featured hilarious and witty dialogue, slapstick comedy, and charming characters that brought smiles to viewers' faces. Let's be honest, we all love seeing Jack Black in a movie, and when he's there, we're probably gonna be in those seats because we want to laugh our butts off. And after being compared to him all the time, I got a few things I need to learn from the old man. At the same time, it tackled deeper themes of self-discovery, identity, and finding one's inner strength, which resonated with both children and adults. Po, the lovable and unlikely hero, was easy for audiences to relate to. He was an ordinary and clumsy panda who dreamt of something more, making him an underdog that viewers rooted for throughout his journey. So being able to continue his journey and see him teach others is a full circle conclusion story for the Padawan turned master. Kung Fu Panda 3 left the story open-ended, with Po reuniting with his long-lost father, Li Shan, and embracing his role as the Dragon Warrior. Fans may want to see how Po's journey as the Dragon Warrior unfolds and witness new challenges he faces in both his personal and Kung Fu life. The Kung Fu Panda franchise has a dedicated fan base that has supported the series through its inception. A new movie would serve as a reunion of sorts for these fans, bringing back the beloved characters they adore. The franchise's celebration of Chinese culture has been praised, and a new movie could continue to showcase and promote cultural representation and appreciation. Yeah, those were some big words. I'm smart. But seriously, again, when it comes to sequels, if you have something golden, you stick to it until it stops being golden. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So are you excited for Kung Fu Panda 4? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Also, always carry a dumpling in your pocket for instant motivation. Whether you're a panda or a tiger, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. And as Po would say, skadoosh, and I'll see you at the movies.